Most American drivers casually assume that reaching 250,000 miles on a modern SUV is normal, achievable, and reasonably common. Curious. That specific assumption is not correct, and understanding exactly how uncommon 250,000 miles actually is on the American automotive market in 2026 is the entire framework for this video. iSeeCars publishes an annual analysis of 174 million vehicles across the American market, and the specific data anchors the industry average probability of any given vehicle reaching 250,000 miles at approximately 4.8%. Surprised? Read that number twice. Approximately 1 in 20 vehicles across all brands, all models, all body styles ever crosses the 250,000-mile threshold. The other 19 out of 20 get scrapped, totaled, sold for parts, or otherwise removed from the American vehicle fleet before reaching that specific milestone.
That specific 4.8% industry average survival probability is documented aggregate data across nearly 400 million vehicles that the iSeeCars database tracks. Now here's where the specific pattern gets interesting. When you filter the iSeeCars aggregate data by specific brand, the survival probability distribution is meaningfully uneven. The Toyota brand across all models on the American market anchors at approximately 17.8% probability to 250,000 miles. Read that number next to the industry average. 4.8% industry-wide, 17.8% for the Toyota brand specifically. That is approximately 3.5 times the industry average. Toyota vehicles are 3.5 times more likely to reach 250,000 miles than the aggregate American vehicle fleet. Honda vehicles anchor meaningfully above industry average as well. Subaru vehicles anchor meaningfully above. Lexus vehicles anchor at the top of the luxury tier. And the specific Japanese engineering approaches that produce this documented survival advantage are not marketing claims. They are documented engineering choices sustained across multi-decade continuous production runs of specific engines and transmissions that most competing brands have not maintained in the same way. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 specific Japanese SUVs currently on sale in America in 2026, where the documented 250,000-mile survival probability is anchored most decisively, in countdown order from 5 to 1, with the strongest documented compact segment champion landing at the end. I'm going to walk you through the specific engineering factors that enable 250,000-mile survival, the specific documented data anchoring each pick, and the specific alternatives across every Japanese brand family currently in production. Stay with me all the way to the end, because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the specific Japanese SUVs currently on lots in 2026 that specifically do not make it to 250,000 miles. The inverse pattern where documented engineering concerns crush the survival curve. Name the specific alternatives from library across every price tier and give the honest verdict for senior buyers who have asked me to call this comparison specifically. The window sticker tells you what the vehicle costs to buy. The iSeeCars 250,000 survival data tells you which vehicles actually last long enough to be worth the money across a 15-year ownership window. Let me show you the 5 that specifically clear the filter.
Before I name a single vehicle, you deserve to understand exactly which 5 engineering factors enable a specific Japanese SUV to cross the 250,000-mile threshold at documented rates, meaningfully above the industry average 4.8% probability, because those 5 factors are the framework that separates the actual longevity champions from the vehicles that carry the reliability reputation without the underlying engineering to support it. Thoughtful factor number 1 is continuous production heritage on the specific engine and transmission architecture. When a specific engine has been in continuous production for 25 or 30 years or more, the manufacturer has accumulated 25 or 30 years of documented failure mode analysis fed back into the design. Curious, each iteration of the engine benefits from lessons learned across every previous customer failure. The Toyota Hybrid Synergy Drive has been in continuous production since 1997, which specifically means 28 years of failure mode analysis fed back into the current design. The Honda J35 V6 has been in continuous production since 1996, which specifically means nearly 30 years of the same iterative refinement. Manufacturers who introduce brand new engine architectures without that specific continuous production heritage are asking their customers to be the field test for engineering iterations that will not benefit those specific customers. Factor number 2 is naturally aspirated engine architecture. As documented across the specific turbotrap engineering realities, the American market has documented across the last 15 years. Small displacement turbocharged direct injection engines carry specific failure modes that naturally aspirated engines do not. Carbon buildup on intake valves, oil dilution risk on cold climate short commutes, higher thermal stress on internal components. Turbo-specific maintenance items that accumulate cost across the ownership window. Every one of those failure modes reduces the probability of a specific vehicle reaching 250,000 miles. Naturally aspirated engines architecturally sidestep every single one of those concerns. Factor number 3 is transmission engineering. The Toyota HSD planetary eCVT power split device contains no torque converter, no clutch packs, no bands, no shift solenoids, and essentially no traditional wear items. Documented examples past 350,000 miles on original drivetrains exist in customer hands today. Traditional automatic transmissions with proven multi-decade production history clear the filter as well. Modern CVTs, belt drive, do not clear the filter reliably. Wet clutch automatic transmissions add specific service scenarios that reduce survival probability. Factor number 4 is deep dealer network preservation across the specific brand. When a specific vehicle needs service across a 15-plus year ownership window to reach 250,000 miles, the specific brand's dealer network needs to still be operating and still be servicing the vehicle at year 15, year 18, year 20 of ownership. Toyota and Honda operate the deepest mainstream dealer networks in America, which specifically preserves service accessibility across the survival window. Brands with shrinking dealer networks fail this specific filter regardless of how well engineered the underlying vehicle is. Factor number 5 is documented long mileage survival data on the specific model. iSeeCars publishes annual model-specific survival probability data that documents which specific vehicles actually reach 250,000 miles at documented rates above the industry average. Vehicles without meaningful documented survival data on iSeeCars data cannot be recommended for 250,000 survival with confidence, regardless of manufacturer marketing claims. Now hold those 5 engineering factors in your head, because we are about to walk through 5 specific Japanese SUVs where every one of the factors compounds in the same favorable direction on the same vehicle. Pick number 5 on the 250K survival countdown is the Honda Pilot, and this vehicle earns its place at position 5 because it specifically applies the Honda J35 V6 continuous production engineering heritage in a 3-row family SUV configuration with documented long mileage survival examples in customer hands today. Curious? Let me walk you through the specific case. The Honda Pilot uses the Honda J35 V6 3.5-liter naturally aspirated engine, which has been in continuous production since 1996. Surprised, read that year twice. 1996, nearly 30 years of continuous production, meaning nearly 30 years of documented failure mode analysis fed back into the current design. The J35 V6 uses port injection rather than direct injection, which specifically means the intake valves get washed by fuel during normal operation, and the carbon buildup pattern that afflicts direct injection engines does not accumulate on the J35 architecture.
Naturally aspirated 3.5 liters displacement means no turbocharger, no wastegate actuator, no boost pressure management, no premium fuel requirement, and none of the turbo trap engineering realities that reduce 250,000 survival probability on downsize and boost architectures. Factor number 1 on continuous production heritage clears at the strongest possible level. Factor number 2 on naturally aspirated engine architecture clears completely. Factor number 3 on transmission engineering clears at the Honda 10-speed conventional automatic tier, proven multi-year production history with no CVT concerns and no wet clutch complexity. Factor number 4 on dealer network preservation clears at the second deepest mainstream network in America. Honda dealer network is second only to Toyota in America. Factor number 5 on documented long mileage survival data clears meaningfully. Documented Honda Pilot examples past 300,000 miles exist in customer hands today, and the Honda brand-wide iSeeCars survival probability anchors meaningfully above the industry average of 4.8%. Now let me walk you through the specific numbers. Base pricing on the Honda Pilot runs approximately $40,000 depending on trim. Combined output on the J35 V6 reaches approximately 285 horsepower. EPA combined fuel economy lands in the low to mid-20s combined, depending on drive configuration. The interior on higher trims delivers real 3-row usable capacity for grandchildren transportation and family road trips. And Honda Repair Pal brand average annual maintenance at approximately $428 per year is the cheapest documented mainstream brand in America, meaningfully below Toyota at $441 per year and industry average at $652 per year. That specific ownership economics advantage means the Honda Pilot owner absorbs meaningfully less scheduled maintenance cost across the ownership window than most competitors, which specifically preserves the survival window across the 15-plus year ownership pattern that reaching 250,000 miles requires. Now the honest weaknesses. Fuel economy on the J35 V6 lands meaningfully below what a Toyota HSD hybrid alternative delivers. The interior design in some trims feels less modern than newer competitors, and the Honda Pilot is not currently offered with a hybrid variant in the 2026 lineup, though Honda confirmed in the May 2026 business briefing that hybrid variants are planned for 2027 to 2028 across the family. But the specific J35 V6 30-year continuous production heritage delivers the specific 250,000 survival advantage this pick specifically anchors. Alternative Honda picks on the same J35 V6 heritage include the Honda Passport as the 5-passenger sibling with essentially identical J35 V6 engineering, and the Honda HR-V as the subcompact configuration. If the buyer specifically prioritizes hybrid engineering with the general Honda brand advantage over the pure J35 V6 longevity heritage, the Honda CR-V 2026 Hybrid Trail S uses the completely separate 2.0-liter NA eHEV engine architecture at $32,315 base with class-leading rear legroom plus 39-plus cubic feet cargo, architecturally distinct from the 1.5T gas engine on the Honda CR-V 2024 trim subject to the Wozniak class action for oil dilution. Pick number 5 confirmed.
Pick number 4 is the Toyota Highlander 2026, and this vehicle earns position 4 on the 250,000 survival countdown because it specifically applies the Toyota Hybrid Synergy Drive engineering heritage in a 3-row family SUV configuration where the specific family hand-down retention pattern preserves the vehicle across the ownership window that reaching 250,000 miles requires. Curious? Let me walk you through the specific case. The Toyota Highlander 2026 hybrid variant uses the Toyota HSD 2.5-liter NA Atkinson cycle engine paired with the Toyota Planetary eCVT power split device. Combined output reaches approximately 243 horsepower. EPA combined fuel economy at approximately 36 miles per gallon combined, class leading for a 3-row midsize hybrid SUV. Excited base, pricing on the hybrid trim starts at approximately $42,000. Now the specific engineering factors. Factor number 1 on continuous production heritage clears at the strongest possible mainstream level. The Toyota HSD architecture has been in continuous production since 1997, 28 years. Documented 350,000-mile examples on original drivetrains exist in customer hands today. Factor number 2 on naturally aspirated engine architecture clears completely. The HSD engine is a 2.5-liter NA Atkinson cycle design with dual injection that sidesteps carbon buildup pattern. Factor number 3 on transmission engineering clears at the strongest level. The Planetary eCVT power split device has 0 traditional wear items and no documented pattern of transmission failure across 28 years of continuous production. Factor number 4 on dealer network preservation clears at the deepest possible mainstream level. Toyota operates the deepest mainstream dealer network in America. Factor number 5 on documented long mileage survival data clears at meaningfully above industry average. The Toyota brand-wide IC cars anchor at 17.8% probability to 250,000 miles is roughly 3.5 times industry average, and the Toyota Highlander 2026 family lineage inherits that brand-wide survival advantage. Now the specific 3-row family retention pattern that anchors this pick's 250,000 survival specifically. Documented ownership patterns on the Toyota Highlander 2026 family lineage show families keep the vehicle across 2 to 3 generations of drivers. Original owner buys new to transport young children. Vehicle stays through elementary school plus high school years. Vehicle passes to teenage children as reach driving age. Vehicle continues in family use as second vehicle after parent upgrades. That specific family hand-down pattern is genuinely different from typical vehicle turnover cycles where owners trade in at year 3 or year 4. Families with the Toyota Highlander 2026 keep it. That specific retention pattern preserves the vehicle in continuous ownership across the years required to accumulate 250,000 miles. Transferable 10-year/150,000 hybrid battery warranty on 2020 and newer Toyota hybrids transfers to the second owner without restrictions. Which specifically preserves warranty coverage during family hand-downs, further supporting the 250,000 survival pattern. Now, the honest weaknesses. Third row on the Toyota Highlander 2026 is more usable for children than adults on longer trips, industry standard for three-row midsize hybrids. Interior on lower trims uses harder plastics than luxury tier. Demand consistently exceeds supply, meaning MSRP pricing typical without meaningful dealer discount. But the 250,000 survival pattern is documented decisively. If your family needs three-row hybrid capability with documented family hand-down retention pattern that reaches 250,000, the Toyota Highlander 2026 is the answer. If family needs more capability at full-size scale, the Toyota Sequoia 2026 applies the fundamental Toyota philosophy at largest scale with IC cars 39.1% probability to 250,000 miles equals highest documented full-size SUV segment with honest V35A engine architecture caveat that the twin-turbo V6 architecture is meaningfully newer engineering than the 28-year continuous HSD track record. And that was pick number 4. Pick number 3 is the Subaru Forester 2026 Largo Hybrid variant, and this vehicle earns position 3 on the 250K survival countdown for a specific engineering combination that most reviewers do not properly explain to their audiences. Let me walk you through the case. The Subaru Forester 2026 Largo Hybrid variant uses Toyota-licensed hybrid synergy drive technology under license from Toyota. Read that specification twice. Toyota-licensed HSD technology. The specific hybrid engine and hybrid transmission underneath the Subaru Forester 2026 Largo Hybrid variant are essentially the same fundamental Toyota engineering that anchors the Toyota RAV4 2026 X3 at pick number 1 on this countdown. Same Toyota 2.5 liters NA Atkinson cycle engine architecture. Same Toyota planetary power split device. Same fundamental HSD drivetrain in continuous production since 1997 with documented 350,000-mile examples in customer hands today. That specific engineering inheritance is what most reviewers do not explain to their audiences on the Subaru Forester 2026 Largo Hybrid variant specifically. The Subaru pick inherits Toyota's 250K survival advantage architecturally, wrapped in a Subaru chassis with Subaru mechanical symmetrical AWD standard on every trim, actual physical driveshaft to the rear axle, actual mechanical differential distributing torque between front and rear, engaged all the time, not electronically managed and slip-triggered like the Toyota RAV4 electronic AWD system. That mechanical AWD engineering choice preserves the survival advantage in snow country states specifically. Factor walkthrough. Factor 1. Continuous production heritage clears through Toyota-licensed HSD inheritance. Factor 2. Naturally aspirated engine architecture clears completely. Factor 3. Transmission engineering clears at the planetary ECVT plus Subaru mechanical AWD tier. Factor 4. Dealer network preservation clears at Subaru mainstream tier, smaller than Toyota or Honda but stable, and Subaru brand growing across recent years. Factor 5. Documented long mileage survival data clears through inheritance of the Toyota HSD engineering plus documented Subaru brand loyalty pattern. Now let me stack the specific data compound advantages. Consumer Reports 2026 overall brand report card released December 2025 places the Subaru brand at number 1 for the second consecutive year. Ahead of Toyota, ahead of Honda, ahead of every mainstream competitor. J.D. Power 2026 U.S. Vehicle Dependability Study anchors the Subaru brand at 181 pp100, ranked 6th overall and meaningfully below industry average of 204. IIHS Top Safety Pick. Plus rating on the Subaru Forester 2024 and the Subaru Forester 2026. Largo earned for 10 consecutive years. EyeSight Driver Assist standard on every trim, base pricing $36,500. Real-world combined fuel economy approximately 35 miles per gallon combined. Combined output approximately 194 horsepower. And the specific Subaru brand loyalty pattern that most reviewers do not adequately explain. Subaru brand-level repeat purchase rates historically anchor among the highest documented in the entire American mainstream automotive market across multiple owner loyalty studies. When a Subaru owner considers their next vehicle, they disproportionately choose another Subaru. That specific loyalty preserves ownership continuity across the years required to reach 250,000 miles. Alternative Subaru picks include the Subaru Crosstrek 2026 in a smaller footprint, CR 2026 number 3 most reliable vehicle of any type on American market. The Subaru Crosstrek 2024 on the used market. The Subaru Outback in larger station wagon body. The Forester Wilderness 2 with off-road capability. The Subaru Forester 2024 on the used market. And the Impreza in sedan/hatchback body. Now the honest weaknesses. Fuel economy. At approximately 35 miles per gallon, combined lands approximately 7 miles per gallon below Toyota RAV4 because mechanical AWD extracts higher fuel economy penalty than electronic AWD. Base pricing approximately $4,600 above base RAV4. But for Snow Country buyers specifically, the Toyota-licensed HSD plus Subaru mechanical AWD combination preserves 250K survival while adding the mechanical AWD advantage. Pick number 3 confirmed.
Pick number 2 is the Lexus NX 350H, and this vehicle earns position 2 on the 250K survival countdown because it applies the mechanically identical Toyota hybrid Synergy Drive drivetrain wrapped in the specific Lexus quality control regime that produces the lowest documented problem rate of any vehicle brand in America for 4 consecutive years. Let me walk you through the specific case, because for the luxury tier buyer whose budget will absorb the premium, this pick delivers the strongest documented luxury 250K survival profile available in the American market. The Lexus NX 350H is mechanically the Toyota RAV4 2026 X3 wearing a luxury wrapper. Same fundamental Toyota HSD, same 2.5-liter NA Atkinson cycle engine, same planetary ECVT in continuous production since 1997 with effectively no documented pattern of internal failure across nearly 3 decades. Same transferable 10-year/150,000 hybrid battery warranty. Factor 1. Continuous production heritage clears at the strongest possible level. Inherits 28 years HSD track record. Factor 2. Naturally aspirated engine architecture clears completely. Factor 3. Transmission engineering clears at the strongest level. Factor 4. Dealer network preservation clears at strongest luxury tier. Lexus and Toyota dealer networks jointly deliver deepest luxury service availability in America. Factor 5. Documented long mileage survival data clears at Toyota Heritage tier plus Lexus quality control amplifier. Now here's the specific compound advantage that anchors this pick at position 2 above the Honda Pilot at number 5, Highlander at number 4, Forester Largo at number 3. J.D. Power 2026 U.S. Vehicle Dependability Study released February 2026, the Lexus brand came in first overall at 151 problems per 100 vehicles, equals 4th consecutive year the brand has won the title. Lowest documented problem rate any vehicle brand in modern era of the study. Industry average sits at 204 pp100. Mainstream Toyota brand sits at 185 pp100, meaningfully below industry average but still 34 pp100 above Lexus. Read that gap. Same fundamental engineering under the hood. Meaningfully lower documented problem rate on the Lexus badged version. The 34 pp100 gap is not the engineering. The engineering is essentially identical. The gap is everything that happens to the same fundamental Toyota bones once Toyota stops touching them and Lexus takes over. Tighter assembly tolerances on the Lexus production line, more rigorous quality control regime, higher grade interior materials that age more gracefully across a decade of ownership, better sound insulation. All of those advantages compound over time and produce measurably lower documented problem rates that preserve the 250,000 survival window. Consumer Reports separately ranks the Lexus brand at the top of the Customer Service Index for luxury brands for multiple consecutive years. CarEdge 10-year cumulative ownership cost at approximately $7,110, meaningfully below industry average $10,504, despite being luxury brand. CarEdge major repair Lexus 18.75% equals second lowest in the entire American automotive market, behind only Toyota at 14.97%. EPA combined fuel economy on the Lexus NX 350H lands at 41 city and 37 highway. Base pricing $45,000. Now the honest weaknesses. Starting price roughly $13,000 higher than base Toyota RAV4 2026 X3. Cargo space smaller. Infotainment feels visually behind some competitors. But the compound advantage on 250,000 survival is real. If your budget will absorb the luxury premium, the Lexus NX 350H is the answer for the strongest documented luxury 250,000 survival profile. The Lexus RX 2024 applies same brand advantage in larger, mid-size luxury configuration at approximately $52,000 based on the hybrid variant. The Lexus GX delivers body-on-frame luxury capability with Toyota Land Cruiser Prado heritage with honest V35A engine caveat shared with Sequoia. The Acura MDX delivers three-row Japanese luxury on the naturally aspirated Honda J35 V6 heritage, with honest disclosure that Acura does not currently offer a hybrid SUV variant in 2026. Hybrid expected 2027 to 2028. Pick number 2 confirmed. The next pick delivers the strongest documented compact segment 250K survival champion in the entire American SUV market.
And pick number 1 on the 250K survival countdown is the Toyota RAV 42026 X3. Excited? Let me walk you through the specific case, because for the mainstream compact hybrid SUV buyer, this pick delivers the strongest documented 250K survival champion available in the entire American automotive market. The single most decisive documented signal on any hybrid SUV in the compact segment is the iSeeCars long mileage survival probability data. iSeeCars aggregates real-world survival data across 174 million vehicles in the American market. Industry average across all brands anchors at 4.8% probability to 250,000 miles. Impressed, the Toyota RAV 42026 X3 family lineage anchors at 17.8% probability to 250,000 miles equals number 1 compact SUV segment. Probability equals roughly 3.5 times industry average. Read that number twice. When you buy a Toyota RAV 42026 X3, you are buying documented 3.5 times industry average probability of reaching 250,000 miles compared to what a random new vehicle purchase across the American market would deliver. And the 3.5 times multiplier is not marketing. It is documented aggregate market data across nearly 400 million vehicles that iSeeCars tracks. Let me stack the other 250,000 survival signals. KBB has named the Toyota RAV 42026 X3 platform best resale value in class for 6 consecutive years at approximately 53% 5-year residual equals documented aggregate market evidence that owners are choosing to keep the vehicle rather than sell it, which preserves the survival window. CarEdge major repair probability at 14.97% for the Toyota brand equals lowest documented figure of any vehicle brand in the entire American automotive market equals documented evidence that owners do not encounter forcing pressure from major repair invoices that would remove the vehicle from the survival window. RepairPal model-specific annual maintenance at $429 per year at 4.0 out of 5 reliability score, ranked number 3 of 26 competing compact SUVs, transferable 10-year, 150,000-mile hybrid battery warranty on 2020 and newer vehicles that transfers to second owner within family without restrictions equals warranty coverage preserved across ownership changes. Toyota Safety Sense 4.0 standard on every trim. Now the specific engineering that anchors the 250K survival advantage. The Toyota Hybrid Synergy Drive underneath the Toyota RAV 42026 X3 has been in continuous production since the original Toyota Prius 2024 lineage launched in 1997. 28 straight years. Naturally aspirated 2.5-liter Atkinson cycle engine. Dual injection sidesteps carbon buildup pattern. Planetary eCVT power split device contains no torque converter, no clutch packs, no bands, no shift solenoids, and essentially no traditional wear items. Documented examples past 350,000 miles on original drivetrains in customer hands today. Base pricing $31,900. Combined output 226 horsepower FWD, 236 AWD, EPA, combined fuel economy 48 city and 42 highway on FWD, 100% hybrid for 2026 with no gasoline-only variant remaining in the lineup. Now the honest weaknesses. Interior on lower trims uses harder plastics than the Honda CR-V 2026 Hybrid Trail S, where the E:/HEV clean architecture and class-leading rear legroom deliver alternative advantages. The rubber band effect under hard acceleration is present and audible. Because demand consistently exceeds supply, buyers almost always pay MSRP without meaningful dealer discount. But the 250,000 survival trade is decisive. If you want the strongest documented 250,000 survival champion available in the entire American compact hybrid SUV market, the Toyota RAV for 2026 X3 is the answer. The Toyota RAV for 2024 previous generation carries essentially the same survival advantage on the used market. The Toyota Corolla Cross 2026 scales the drivetrain down at approximately $29,000 base for buyers who want the cheapest entry into the same fundamental HSD survival advantage with the Toyota Corolla Cross 2026 X2 and Toyota Corolla Cross GR Sport variants for additional equipment. The Toyota Camry Hybrid 2024 applies HSD engineering in a sedan body. Pick number 1 confirmed as the strongest documented compact segment 250K survival champion in the American SUV market.
So if you have been watching for the last 22 minutes, ready to be told which of the 5 Japanese longevity champion picks is right for your specific life, here is the honest verdicts by buyer profile, with attention to senior buyers and the specific Japanese SUVs currently on lots in 2026 that specifically do not make it to 250,000 miles. The inverse pattern, where documented engineering concerns crush the survival curve. If you specifically prioritize the Honda J35 V6 30-year continuous naturally aspirated production heritage in a 3-row family configuration, the Honda Pilot is the answer, with the Honda Passport as the 5-passenger sibling and the Honda HR-V as the subcompact configuration. If you want Honda hybrid engineering with class-leading space and cheapest documented mainstream annual maintenance in America, the Honda CR-V 2026 Hybrid Trail S uses the completely separate 2.0-liter NA Atkinson EH-EV engine that sidesteps the gas 1.5T Wozniak concern architecturally and preserves the survival window. If your family needs 3-row hybrid capability with documented family hand-down retention pattern reaching 250,000, the Toyota Highlander 2026 is the answer, with the Toyota Sequoia 2026 as the full-size alternative. IC Car's 39.1% probability to 250,000 equals highest documented full-size SUV segment, with honest V35A engine architecture caveat that the twin-turbo V6 is meaningfully newer engineering than the 28-year continuous HSD track record. If you live in snow country and Subaru Mechanical Symmetrical AWD delivers meaningful daily driving advantages, combined with legendary Subaru brand loyalty preserving ownership continuity, the Subaru Forester 2026 Largo is the answer. With the Subaru Crosstrek 2026 smaller footprint alternative, CR 2026 number 3 most reliable vehicle of any type on American market, the Subaru Crosstrek 2024 on used market, the Subaru Outback larger station wagon, the Forester Wilderness 2 off-road, the Subaru Forester 2024 on used market, and the Impreza sedan. If your budget will absorb the luxury premium and you want same Toyota engineering wrapped in Lexus quality control regime, producing lowest documented problem rate any brand modern era 4 consecutive years, the Lexus NX350H is the answer. With the Lexus RX 2024 larger sibling, the Lexus GX body-on-frame luxury capability with V35A engine caveat shared with Sequoia, and the Acura MDX 3-row Japanese luxury on J35 V6 heritage with honest hybrid disclosure for 2027 to 2028 arrival. And if you want the strongest documented compact segment 250K survival champion available in America, the Toyota RAV4 2026 X3 is the answer. With the Toyota RAV4 2024 on used market, the Toyota Corolla Cross 2026 for buyers on a tighter budget, with the Toyota Corolla Cross 2026 X2 and Toyota Corolla Cross GR Sport variants, the Toyota Camry Hybrid 2024 for sedan preference, and the Toyota Prius 2024 where the entire HSD lineage started in 1997. For buyers wanting Mazda brand identity with naturally aspirated engineering that sidesteps the turbo trap while preserving survival window, with Honest CR 2026 brand caveat that Mazda dropped 8 places in the December 2025 brand report card release, the Mazda CX-5 2026 On-NA Skyactiv G engine holds RepairPal 4.5 out of 5 reliability score, number 1 of 26 midsize SUVs, with the Mazda CX-5 2024 on used market, the Mazda CX-30 2026, and the Mazda CX-50 variants. Now let me speak directly to senior buyers who have asked me to call this specifically. Senior buyers are the demographic where 250,000 survival matters most, because seniors typically hold vehicles the longest and the retirement budget cannot easily absorb a mid-ownership vehicle replacement. For seniors specifically, every one of the 5 Japanese longevity champion picks clears the senior filter, with the Toyota HSD family lineage delivering the strongest survival probability plus deepest mainstream dealer network for long-term service accessibility in 2040 and beyond. Now let me tell you the Japanese SUVs currently on lots in 2026 that specifically do not make it to 250,000 miles, the inverse pattern. The Nissan Rogue VC turbo engine architecture recalled 1 million plus units in 12 months across 3 separate mechanical systems on the NHTSA database equals 250,000 survival probability, meaningfully below Toyota brand-wide 17.8% due to documented federal recall exposure crushing owner confidence. Incoming e-Power hybrid variant launching on same, problematic VC turbo engine. The Infiniti QX50 uses same VC turbo family with luxury parts pricing. The Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV variant carries CR-documented 80% more problems concern, paired with Mitsubishi dealer network shrinking meaningfully, equals fails long-term ownership. Filter that reaching 250,000 requires. The Mazda CX-90 Largo with 8-speed wet clutch automatic transmission documented low-speed shutter plus PHEV variant complexity plus Honest CR 2026 disclosure that Mazda brand dropped 8 places, largest single-year negative movement current rankings. Reduces forward demand across entire Mazda flagship SUV line. And the specific gasoline Honda CR-V 2024 1.5T trim uses the 1.5 liters L15B7 turbocharged direct injection engine, subject to the Wozniak versus Honda federal class action settlement for oil dilution defects. Though the hybrid Honda CR-V 2026 Hybrid Trail S at pick number 5's alternative uses completely separate 2.0 liters NAEHEV engine that sidesteps the concern entirely and preserves survival window. Walking past every one of those inverse avoid Japanese picks buys the freedom to purchase one of the 5 longevity champions instead. Before you go, I need something specific from you in the comments below, because the next video on this channel is going to be built directly on the data you leave here. If you currently own one of the 5 Japanese longevity champion picks and you have crossed the 150,000 mile mark or higher, I especially want to hear from you. Drop your specific vehicle, your model year, your current mileage, your state, and any specific ownership events across the survival window, major repair invoices you have absorbed, warranty service you have received, dealer service experience, any specific reliability shift you noticed at year 8, 10, 12 of ownership. Your specific real-world survival data helps confirm or refine the IC Cars aggregate anchor I walked through on this video. If you own a Toyota RAV4 2026 X3 or Toyota RAV4 2024 past 200,000 miles, your data is especially valuable because it confirms the 17.8% IC Cars anchor at customer mile scale. If you own a Honda Pilot or Honda Passport on the J35 V6 Heritage past 250,000 miles, tell me the specific service history that got you there. Was it fluid service intervals, timing components, cooling system service, any specific maintenance that made the difference? If you own a Subaru Forester 2026 Largo Hybrid or any Subaru vehicle, tell me your specific Subaru brand loyalty pattern, how many total Subarus in household lifetime, and what specifically produces the brand loyalty for you. If you own a Lexus NX350H or Lexus RX 2024, I especially want to hear your Lexus dealer service experience because J.D. Power Customer Service Index anchor at #1 luxury multiple years is based on aggregate data, and your specific dealer experience helps confirm or challenge the pattern. If you cross-shopped one of the 5 longevity champions against one of the inverse avoid Japanese picks and went with the avoid pick anyway, tell me what tipped the decision. Do not just leave a thumbs up, leave your specific ownership math. And I want to leave you with two things that are coming. The first one is that I have been investigating something specific about the deeper Toyota-Subaru engineering partnership on hybrid technology. Supplier sources suggest the Toyota-licensed HSD technology that already appears in the Subaru Forester 2026 Largo hybrid variant at pick number 3 could extend to additional Subaru configurations across coming model years. If that lands, the Subaru Outback and Subaru Crosstrek 2026 arriving in 2027 and 2028 could receive Toyota-licensed hybrid engineering paired to Subaru mechanical AWD, which would meaningfully expand the 250,000 survival champion list. The second thing is that Honda confirmed in the May 2026 business briefing that 15 next-generation hybrid models are coming by 2030 with a 30% reduction in production costs and a 10% improvement in efficiency. If Honda delivers on that roadmap, the Honda Pilot and Honda Passport arriving in 2027 and 2028 could receive eHEV hybrid drivetrains that pair the Honda brand loyalty advantage with genuine hybrid engineering, potentially producing 250,000 survival probabilities meaningfully stronger than what the current J35 V6 variants achieve. And the incoming Acura MDX hybrid variant, widely expected 2027 to 2028, could genuinely earn a place on future 250,000 survival champion lists. Either way, I will be here breaking it down the moment the news lands. Subscribe so you do not have to come looking. I will see you in the next one.